All right, so we've got the system installed. AirUp is now on American AF dumpster truck. We've got our wheel hardware. This is taking all the tires and turning them into one tire, providing 100 PSI
to every single tire here.
Dan Franks, Vice President of Air Down. So we're here to do an AirUp install, our constant tire pressure inflation system. I was running through with these guys. We have two products, Air Down. Air Down is an in-cab display that allows you at the push of a button to drop your tire pressure. So you increase the surface area so you don't get stuck in the sand or the mud. AirUp provides you constant air pressure so that we're fighting against punctures, nails, and providing 100 PSI to all the tires at the same time. So what we're doing right now is we're going to lay out the equipment. The AirUp is a very simple install. The only thing we link into from a wiring standpoint is just ignition power, so that when you turn the truck on, the system starts and starts pumping air into it. We link into the air tank on the system, but we have a pressure protection valve that isolates it so that you always have priority for your air brakes. So we don't take pressure from that tank until it gets above about 90, 100 PSI. The AirUp install's really easy. What we're seeing here is main hardware and wheel hardware, okay? So this is our wheel end rotary valve. So we're gonna put this in position on the tires, and then this stays while the tire spins, okay? There's your inner and outer hoses. Two things to note here, okay? So difference between Air Down and AirUp. Air Down, the air has to go bi-directional. We got to put it in and escape it. But AirUp, we're only pushing air in. So that means the difference is you don't have to pull out the Schrader valve inside your tire stem here. So this actually pushes air only one way, and then we have a 90 PSI check valve that keeps air in the tires. So this is also a benefit. If you're getting a nail or puncture in your tire, you can, at the end of the night, you see, oh, I think I've got a nail in my tire. So you close the ball valves on all the tires, okay? That 90 PSI is going to hold air in the rest of the tires, but the one tire with the leak is going to leak that air. So it identifies which tire it has a hole in it. Now, at the same time, then as soon as you turn the system on, air now is pumping. You open these up, now air's filling that tire back up. So now you've found the tire that has the nail in it without having to really do, digging or research on it. It's easily identifiable. And then we're pumping air so you can address that tire whenever you guys decide it's best. This system allows you to eliminate the need for a service call on the side of the road. You're not going to be down because of a nail throughout the day. And you could tell whoever handles your tires, you could schedule that call so that they come when it's your downtime, and you guys keep your trucks on the road.
So walk me through that part again, if you don't mind. So if there'll be a little light, right? They'll tell me that I have one tire that's down,
come on over here,
right?
guys. Robert's actually got the box sitting over here. Yep. So here's our AirUp box. Okay. Super simple. Like I said, Air Down, we've got an in-cab display that's a full LCD screen with push buttons. This is much more simpler, because all we're doing is keeping your tires pressurized. Okay. So we're going to mount this either this way, likely, right here, so that the driver, all he sees over the shoulder is the red and the green lights that are on our box. Okay. Green light means you're at full pressure. You've got a manual gauge on here as well that's going to show you all the tire pressure. We turn all the tires into one big tire. Now we're filling all of them up. So when you see what this manual gauge is, that's what your tire pressure is on every one of your tires. So when the green light's lit, we're good to go. Throughout the day, if your driver sees the red light coming on and spending, not just flickering, but spending a couple minutes inflating, that's indication that they have a puncture or a nail that we're fighting against throughout the day.
Gotcha. And that's when at the end of the day, we would go, okay, so it's got the red light. Let's go shut off all the valves, and then we'll figure out exactly which tire it is in the morning.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
But then at the same time, as soon as you turn the truck on in the morning, this is going to start inflating it, so you can address that tire when you guys want. When we first put this system on, the first customer we had, Capital Waste in Florida, we told them run this until we can't keep up with the tire inflation anymore. And they pulled the system down 6 months later and pulled out 19 nails and punctures in there. So we're able to fight against every day 18 to 20 nails and punctures in your tires, still provide 100 PSI, and then you go that long without ever having to address those tires. Now that's the extreme case. You probably want to identify them and fix them as needed. But the whole thing is, what we've seen in this industry is everybody's having problems with nails and punctures in their tires. And the biggest thing is 2 to 3 times service call or tire truck come out to fix tires in a week.
Right.
As opposed to with our system, you can have those all done on Saturday. No extra wear on the compressor or the onboard system. We've had our air down system was the first that we invented about 8 or 9 years ago, and that air down system has been running over 1,000 trucks throughout the country, and not a single issue, wear and tear on the compressor or anything like that. You know, and we just pull a little bit of air at a time. You know, we're not constantly running or anything like that. And cement trucks typically will air up and air down, go from 100 to 20 PSI several times a day. The farmers that use our trucks use it all day and night. And so we've not seen any additional wear and tear, no extra fuel usage.
Nice.
Very simple. From an installation standpoint, one of the things that we see different, each truck seems to be quite different, is our main frame hardware. So if you guys see, what we do is we mount this base plate against the frame. You've got 2 bolts that we're going to pull out of there, okay? And then we're going to use our base plate to mount this directly to the frame, okay? And then this is an adjustable. We can adjust it for height. We're going to set it so it's inside the frame rail here, okay? So that'll be sticking out just outside the tires, and then our hoses are going to wrap around the tire to the wheel manifolds.
One of the biggest concerns I had when I saw pictures on the website was that, you know, with us being at the landfill, that something at the landfill will grab one of the hoses, rip it out. Next thing you know, we got a big issue.
Yeah.
So if that does happen, you said it. I think you said it. That's never happened.
Never happened. We actually have a video of Robert here jumping up and down on the hose to show that we can stand on that hose. We could jump up and down. You can kick it. You know, it incredibly durable. The hoses last because we got 3,000 PSI hydraulic hoses. These are our short ones. We've got a couple longer ones in there, but this stays tight. So we're going to show you guys how to set that, and so that this is tight around the wheel and that doesn't move. And then you can jump up and down on this and it's not going to rip off.
But even if it, let's say something happened where there was a leak, we would just shut off the valves.
Absolutely.
And then it would not continue to.
Even if you have a blowout even. So what you can do with a blowout is you shut all the valves. That way the rest of the tires all have 100 PSI and you can limp back to the shop.
Okay.
You don't need that roadside service call.
Gotcha.
That's that 90 PSI one-way check valve that holds the tire pressure for the rest of the tires, even though one's got a leak.
And there'll be, real quick, before they do that, there'll be a link that we can order them or have them ordered or contact you on the video down below in the comments. I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. We'll have a link for you to reach out to us, and we can come to put your system on anywhere in the country.
Cool.
Want to see? Okay, like this one's not a great setup on this tire because look at, you got a stem here, and then that other stem is right here.
Okay.
Oh man.
You know, so it's a real pain. Ideally, you want them clocked across from each other.
You know, straight across from each other.
We should be able to make it work, but it's just
Yeah,
not
it looks
great.
a little goofy.
And that could eventually be fixed later on.
Yeah, just clock the wheels back where they are. Let's see where everybody else is at.
So we're going to turn this one in. Okay.
This one, that one's right.
So you loosen this one up first.
And then that one's right. That one's right. The one we picked to start off with is the only one.
The only one like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you see that? He put,
Had to persuade it a little bit.
Yeah, just a little persuasion.
yeah, he put this on there. So we turn those in, okay? And then tighten them back up. And then, like this one, since that one's up there, you want to turn this one this opposite way.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Actually, yeah, we want that to go that direction.
But other than that, if they're straight across, you just turn that one straight out, or is...
No, you want to kind of leave it like that, but you want so this inside one gets a hooked hose.
Gotcha.
Okay, so turning it this way allows us to hook back and come back this way. If we were the other way, then we'd be going the same direction as that other hose is coming out. Okay, but the good thing is you don't have to take out the valve cores on these. Okay, so putting this on is much easier than when you pop that valve core off and the air down.
Yeah.
The other version, you're fighting against air, you're fighting against that inside stem.
Yeah.
If they have the caps on there, and do you
That one
all
got a cap on it?
typically remove the extensions?
Yeah, you're gonna have to take the extension off of there too. We might have to move this truck a little bit. I don't know if I'll get my arm up in there.
You don't think we need to take this extension off, do you?
Yeah, you have to because you gotta. Well, actually, no, because we're pushing the valve stem out anyway. So no,
Yeah.
you should be able to go right over it. For the air up, we don't take the valve cores out because the air is only going this direction. For an air down system, you have to take the cores out because the air is going both directions.
Okay.
So what we're doing is on an air down system, you're making the back one big huge tire. So every tire has the
you got a
exact
wrench
same
for this
correct air
inside
pressure.
one?
But yeah, it just makes everything like one big huge tire. You get better tire wear, better tire life, better fuel economy because everything is, you're kind of rolling down the road, not dragging down the road.
Gotcha.
Tires do last longer.
And the one we did for Keystone was just like this. We're going to clamp this. We're going to clamp that instead of having this bracket right there, we're just going to clamp off that mid rail.
We're thinking about trying to have some bracket where it come up like this on the mid rail, a couple of places like that, and then the bar will go up in here, and then you can slide it in and out. Instead of having this base and the plate and fighting with all that, just going to go back and redesign some stuff, just like I said.
And this
Just to try to
too,
make it a little easier on us.
trick here too is hand tight that. It's got a little O-ring in there, okay, so it doesn't need to be
Super tight.
Yeah.
tight. And if you tighten it too
just
much, it'll
snug
bust
enough
it.
to where it doesn't leak, but you're not trying to hold the engine in the truck because you'll end up breaking these off. So many people do it. They try to over tighten it, and it just snaps right off. And those threads on that valve stem are kind of sensitive too, so you can strip the end of the valve stem off too. And then you have to change the stem and the hose. So.
These setups also work on like just normal commercial trucks.
But it's better to have an air compressor because you need a compressor to run the system. But we've done some Dodge 550s in Florida for some power companies, and we're using that dual long ARB compressor that everybody's running on their Jeeps and stuff. And I've had pretty good luck with it. I've got a truck right now for an electrical company running it, and
But like a regular semi-trailer, absolutely, this will be great for too.
It's pretty much the same wheelbase and all of that with like a normal semi truck.
Yeah, so on the agriculture trucks that we do, that's the exact same truck. Typically, it's like a Kenworth semi. It's pulling a trailer behind it and then loading crops into it.
Gotcha.
mostly onions and potatoes. I mean, they'll pull 100,000 pounds of onions and potatoes out of the field at a time, man. We got a couple farms, and some of the Mennonites and Hooterites are running our systems out in Washington State and Yakima Valley, and they'll pull 100,000 pounds of onions. I mean, they got super, super long trailers. I mean, they got to be, I don't know, got to be about 60 feet long. I mean, they're longer than your average trailer they run on the road here in Florida, but out there they run super long trailers and extra axles and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to see a semi going through a field, you know, old muddy dirt field, and it just drops the air pressure down to 25 pounds and just pulls right through.
Wow.
And you're just right, it really, really works well.
What inspired you to make because you invented this, right?
Yeah.
You like a farmer or a driver?
No, just pretty much as a kid, started out working at a gas station, you know what I mean? When the old ladies drive up to the pump, it'd go ding ding, you'd run out and check her oil and check her tires and put gas in their car, and you know, then they let you change the oil, and then you do water pumps, and then you do brake jobs, and then, you know, finally motors and stuff. So just been a kind of mechanic my whole life, just, you know, just like tinkering with stuff. And then worked for another company for quite a few years, just like the same old stale stuff. They didn't want to, it's like they were happy with the product they had and they didn't want to better it. And, I was thinking of something to do, so me and another gentleman said, hey, why not go into business ourselves and be their competition? So we decided to build AirDown, which was the, the tire inflation system for, concrete trucks, and which inflates and deflates the tires. And then we started doing some of the waste shows, and then we had everybody coming up telling us they loved the idea, but they didn't need the pretty camera system and they didn't need the pretty display, and they don't really need to inflate and deflate, deflate the tires. They just need to keep the tires completely aired up. So I don't know, after about the 30th or 40th person told me that, after a couple trade shows, I'm sitting there thinking, well, dang, man, I started researching and stuff. Nobody else has anything like it. They have trailers, they have the trailer tending system, but they don't have a truck. Yeah. So then I kept thinking about it, and just at the shop one day, just screwing around, and we were sitting out back, and I was sitting there looking at this old air compressor that the pump was burnt out, and it was just laying there on the ground, and I started looking at it, and I was going, well, dang, man, air compressor switch kicks on and kicks off at certain things. Why can't I find a micro switch that'll turn on and off? Yeah. So then I started playing with it and started putting things together, and started testing it and stuff. I tested it on my own truck. We have a cutoff at the shop. It's a complete cutoff back half with the fifth wheel and the wheel, so I use that as my test system. Right. So when I try ideas, I don't have to go find a customer's truck. I actually have my own thing there. We have a compressor set up, so it's just just kind of trial and error, and finally got it set up. And then I had to, first I had to make sure I had enough people to buy it, and then I had to make sure that I could build it and price it at a reasonable price to sell it in the marketplace. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're at now. Let's see. I just got my patent congratulation letter on this like last month. So actually this is patented, and I should be getting my paperwork on it. And then AirDown has 2 patents on it. The wheel and valve technology is patented, and then our display screen and menu paths are also patented.
What's in the truck, right?
Yeah, that's the display inside the truck. Awesome. And then it has the camera system that records around the truck. It has an accident or incident. There's a little SIM card in it, and it saves the information so you can pull the card out. And then,
360.
yeah, it's pretty much one out the front, one down each side, and one out the back. Not a true 360, but it captures the majority of down the sides of the truck. So that was just something we added, make us a little different than the other competition. And there's actually only 2. We're the only one that does this, and then there's a Canadian company and us that do the tire inflation system, inflate-deflate system. Nice. So, and we've been in business. This will be our 10th year in business. So, and the other nice thing about it is, if you do pick up a nail or a screw or a bolt and you don't realize it, the tire's going down, it's a brand new tire. Well, if you run that tire completely flat, you done ruin that virgin casing and you can't get it recapped. I don't know if you do a lot of recaps out here, but that's another reason. And that whole thing is, like I said, better tire wear, better tire life, better fuel economy, because every tire has the exact same air pressure in it. So you're not scalping tires, you know what I mean? That's what across the board, every tire has the exact same air pressure. So when you start the engine up in the morning, this makes sure every single tire back there has the correct air pressure. You're not relying on a person to go around and pencil gauge each one of them or thump them, you know what I mean? The old-fashioned way, try thumping them with the hammer. So, but we kind of seen a need for it, so that's kind of why we came out with it. Now we're just trying to push and promote it. So what I usually do is I just usually clock it around like this. Find me 2 bolts that I like. Okay, make sure that one fits like that. That's pretty good. And then what I'll do is I take a hammer, bam, 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 mushroom this out a little bit. That way when you take the nut out, it brings the stud out too. So you don't have to double nut it or try to get a stud extractor to get the stud out. You can just take a hammer and beat it with a hammer, and then when the nut comes out, the stud comes out. And then we put two bolts in it and some spacers. There we go. Okay. So, and then what we do is we just take Mushroom these two out, comes right out, and you just put that right back on, hook your 2 hoses to it, and then hang this.
You got plenty of bolts down here, and we got plenty of space. But what we seen, and I'll show you some pictures later, the one that Keystone had, there was like 2 bolts, a shock coming down here. So there was real no way we could modify this
right
plate.
Here, and then it slants back, so it takes all
Right.
the room that you need to.
The heavy axle.
Yeah, to try to get this plate in here like this.
So like we'd have to cut the ear off of that one, and maybe cut a little bit of ear off on one side, and we were like, I mean, that's not, they're putting it on their demo truck.
Yeah.
We don't want it to look like that. And with this bar coming right in the center,
I don't want to
gonna
look like a
clamp it.
hillbilly and spaghettied it together, you know what I
like
mean?
we put it together in Florida. or
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
right?
Duh. This should be, these all should be pretty much straightforward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be pretty easy like that. He's already got those 2 picked out. Like I said, got a Paul Peen hammer and a 15/16. Just mushroom them out, and I'll get you your bolts and boom, boom. It was those 2. It was them 2, right?
Yes. Setting going low.
All right, it's all right.
Just like that.
Just like that. Same thing. Mushroom. Let's see my opposite.
Do you put the cups back in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, everything goes back.
Just the bolts, the only thing that.
Yep, the only thing that comes out is the bolt. Everything else will go right back where it belongs.
Let me just get those hammers after that. Oh, yeah, I'll give you about 15 of these too. They'll come in for like lunch break or come back to the truck after lunch, and then they might see it, you know, illuminated red.
Right there.
That's good.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. All right, no problem. So,
That is one of the other things too to pay attention to when we're looking at it is what type of lugs they're getting too. The bigger trucks have a 3/4 bolt.
especially international with the 44,000 pound rear
And
ends.
so, you know, like if you had a customer lined up or something like that, take a picture of the in-between so we see that, you know, where we're going to mount it. And then when we send you the kit, we'll send you the right bolts with it. You know, the 3/4 inch bolts, or like we were saying, this frame, this U-clamp frame that we're going to design for some of the trucks that just have that right in the middle and make it even easier. You won't even have to worry about the bolts inside. You'll just U-clamp our frame to the rail. So you use the gun on this side, and then I'll hold the bolt on the other side. All right? Okay, go ahead. Got it? All right. Do me a favor, punch that out for me. Perfect. All right. Ready for this one? Nice. Okay, go. Got it. Good?
It didn't come through, did it? All right. Then we want to run this wire. Let's see if we can find a spot. Yeah, right here. I got these little rubber plugs.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I see.
A little rubber plug.
Pop one off.
Just pop one off, and we'll run our wire right in there, and we can put our fuse in the fuse box. This is your ignition wire to turn the box on and off as the ignition turns on to turn the system on. And then we're running the wire to the fuse box. All right, then we're going to put our inline fuse. Grab your test light, stick your test light in there, turn the ignition key on, test light comes on, turn key off, test light goes off. That's going to turn That system on and off as you turn the key on. So as soon as he starts the engine up, the system will come on and it'll start, once it gets over 100 pounds, it'll start equalizing the tires in the back. And that's kind of how easy it is. Just one ignition wire, the ground over at the box. And once he brings the bolts back, it'll be pretty quick. We got to be done in probably less than an hour. I'm going to make sure you put a fuse in there. It's got to come over some, Dan.
Okay.
More to the side. Let's see. Thought we had a set of 18s.
You get longer hanger?
They're just wider plates.
Yeah. We're gonna cut them.
Well, they don't have a cutting torque. There we go. That's what we want.
All right, now show the guys.
All right, you want this centered. So what I try to do is I try to stick my hands kind of in here, kind of ballpark it. You want it to slide all the way. You want that just the bar as centered as you can get it.
Okay.
That's about as far as over as we can get this one. So, all right, Dan, go ahead and put your nuts on, buddy.
Good.
Yep. All right.
Good.
Good and tight.
All right. Now you gotta clean up that other one
Yeah.
for this side, right?
Yeah, I gotta do the opposite on that one. Yeah, I'll mock it up real quick. I'm gonna hang this hanger real quick. I usually get a straight edge, put it on the tires, and then that way you know where the sidewall of the tire is. So you try to keep this. So if it hits the sidewall, it's going to hit the tire and not damage this. So I usually line that up just about like that, and then make it look level. And then when you get it set where you want, you just snug up these three. And then this will go from here to here. And to keep it from hitting the tire, you can twist it here. And I'll show you how to do it later when I get a bigger wrench. And you can twist it here. And then that's what gives you your curve around the tire. So if it's touching the tire, you can just barely twist this fitting and it kicks it out just a hair. And that's how you get it to stay away. And like I said, we'll adjust these. We'll adjust these where they lay in there nice, but that don't look too shabby.
Well, as you can see, every truck's a little different.
Oh yeah.
We don't always have everything. So adjustability is a necessity.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it, you know.
We're trying to get it all dialed in.
Alternate who gets to go under the truck or not.
Who gets in the dungeon?
Yeah. It's, an experience that both need to, I think, get a feel for. Robert doesn't end up having to do it as much as he used to. Okay, bud.
I don't come back when you tighten it up. All right, we'll go ahead and tighten that up.
Under the truck action over here. So we kind of run the hoses along your other hose lines. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this side and we're going to bring it across right here. Got that one set up. And then we've got a Y fitting. We got this line over here. Gonna run along here. And where they meet, we'll cut the two lines and then we'll put the Y fitting in, and then it's one line back to the front of the box. But we'll zip tie this up nice and neat so everything stays static. That's pretty it.
On a scale of like 1 to 10, how easy settable is this?
10 being the most difficult,
No, easiest. 10 easiest.
probably like a 7.
7?
This being kind of
No.
the hardest part about it is just setting everything up, making sure everything's, clocked and nice and tight.
Trying to see if I can get it from here. You know, one thing, if you weren't underneath the bay or you're in a high reach, if you put the hook up, it might be easier to get into certain spots underneath here.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you don't always have to climb under, but smile for the camera.
Line into one.
Those two lines will come into one.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that right here. Let's see. There you go.
Those two lines will come in here. One will go on each side,
Okay.
and then this one runs to that box.
Gotcha.
So that's what he's hooking up now. This is for your air tank.
Okay.
The valve is to go into the air tank here to hold the pressure for your brakes in it. And it's actually got arrows on it. It's directional, so it'll go like this. So I'll probably use that fitting right there and just run it right out of here. And then come right here and go to the box.
I got two lines here. Okay, so I got my passenger and driver's line. I'm going to cut this to the same length. Okay. So now I've got this wide compression fitting. Okay, so this is going to go like this. Okay, and then one line going back. With compression fitting, I take my stem, okay, and I put this on each of the lines before I put that on there. Okay, so you got both of these, so that when I tighten this down, it's going to crimp this. You can only do it once or else it'll start to leak if you take it off and put it back on again. So that's why I make sure that's on there. Okay, stick that up there so it doesn't fall off. And then I come over and do the same thing to this one. Drop that. First, tube on first. And then we bring this compression fitting in. Hand tighten it. And then a couple turns with the wrench. Doesn't need too much.
Can you hit it?
Then we got this one here. Kind of run it. Get it kind of.
And then we'll want it pointing this way.
Kind of cut to here.
And then I just got to get me a better ground. Well, that's my problem up here is I ain't got a very good ground. All right, that'll go right to there. Hang on one second. Let me
Hit
make
me
sure
that
I got
piston wrench.
enough. Oh yeah, that's enough. Yeah, there's enough. Ooh, baby, barely. There's enough though. That's all that counts.
Here, you know what? Can you hold it from up there?
Yeah, just make sure when you do these,
Like just
make
hold
sure
it kind of in place right
yeah.
there?
That's what I do is take
There
the
you
nut
go.
all the way off and then go back
And then I
on
can
with it.
turn
That way you make
this
sure
one
that
from down here.
compression's, that tube is all the way inside because you have about this much tube sticking out the other side. Yeah, go ahead and tighten that up.
Pretty simple in here. You got an SMC standard valve. That's a solenoid valve. Opens and closes. Okay. And then behind it, above, is the micro switch.
Okay.
So as we go through and start setting the pressure, you'll see us adjust the micro switch.
And you just pretty much thread it in.
You see what he's doing there?
I'm just tightening up the switch so when we start it up, we should be a little closer to where we want to be.
So you tighten it up first, and then you back it out and look at the manual gauge till it hits 100. So that's where we want to set
like
it.
Your little regulator for
Yep.
the air pressure.
Yeah, and what it
Exactly.
does is if it loses about 5 pounds, it puts it back and it just watches. It's just constantly watches what it's going on.
Got a little blue valve if you guys ever need to troubleshoot anything or anything like that. Like, okay, it's not putting air pressure in or something like that. This can stick inside that little solenoid spool.
Yeah.
So you just take a pin, hit that little blue manual override, and then it'll cycle. Typically that takes care of it. Not only is everyone over your shoulder, Robert, but the camera is also recording everything you do.
For a second.
That's what I mean about not having a good ground.
All right, go ahead and cut
Yeah, shut it back off. I got to get a good ground. And then that's what we got going. And then I can zip tie, we can fire it up. Like. Some pressure up to kick some air in it because the air is only going that
That's what
way.
we're saying is, so like we emptied the tank, now there's no air in it. So it's gonna wait until it gets above 90.
Leave that
90,
loose a little
100,
bit. That way we get
and
some
then-
air leaking.
Then
and I can
it'll start to
set
release
it. That
air
one's
into our
loose.
system.
I'll go around and check them all before we
But
get done.
this is the kind, like Josh, if that red light's on, just like it is, that's when the driver needs to let you know, or he knows, hey, there's air, you're losing air from a nail.
They show you the product and then cuts forward to when they're done installing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's how easy it is.
yeah,
They
exactly.
never put in the motherfuckers and smashing your hands.
And they always come back and they got different clothes on and shit. So you know, it took a little longer if you changed your clothes. All right, that one I need to snug up a little bit.
Bit of a hysteresis on that little micro switch in there. So once you get like 103, 104, but this is it. Just it's putting a little bit of air in, then it stops. Then put a little air in, then it stops. That's a major reason why we keep it outside too, so it's not annoying.
Trying to get that last little bit squeezed in there.
So we're inching it just a little bit at a time, okay?
Just barely, you got to just move it just barely.
And that turns right here. Did you see that?
This little black. I mean, I'm just moving it just like one little notch at a time. And then there, 100. And then when you go down the road, you'll get about 5 pounds of heat. So it'll be about 105. And that's it, pretty simple and easy. I got a fuse here and I got a fuse in there. So that fuse should blow before this one does, but I kind of redundancy, I put 2 of them in it.
Josh's tire was actually a little low. Pump that right back up as soon as we turn the system on. Okay, we've got all our wheel hardware set. As you can see, it's inside the rail. Super tight and durable. This is not going anywhere. This does not get ripped off by anything at the landfill. We've got our box right here. As you can see, we've got the green light. That means we're fully pressurized. That's what you're gonna see. If you get a red light that's going for more than a minute throughout the course of the day, that gives you the indication that you have a nail or a puncture in one of your tires. And we're fighting to keep that pressurized. Again, we can keep the tires pressurized with multiple punctures and nails in your tires, allowing you to set the schedule for when you want those tires to get repaired. No downtime in the field during the workday. We've got a manual gauge on here that shows you 100 PSI that you can read at all times. And if needed, on-off switch. I probably should have did that from the other side so it looks a lot better. Turn it back on.
And the on-off switch doesn't kill the entire system, just kills the light, or it does kill the entire system?
It does. In case you want to turn it off, you can turn it off.
Kills the entire system?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
So let's say you're working on a tire or something like that. Hey, just turn it off.
Okay.
And then you can replace the tire easy.
Okay.
In the truck, we're only linked into the ignition switch, so as soon as you turn it on, the system starts to work. Other than that, we're good to go.
So 100 PSI, stays there all the time, even with punctures, and it'll notify me when there's a leak, and when I find time, I can go fix it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. And this is the AirUp system.
AirUp.
You also offer AirUp and Air Down.
Air down lets you air down your tires with one push of the button. Also adds cameras to your vehicle as well with recorded DVR tracking. So you got a little bit of extra features with the air down system, but that functionality comes with twice the price.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. So what we're doing is we've partnered together, and there's going to be a link down below by the time this video drops. If you want to get some more information on the AirUp system, click or AirUp and Air Down, click the link below, and it's going to take you to a contact form. It's going to reach out to you, and then you handle it from there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully take care of all of our viewers and give them a little discount code. So make sure you click the link.
Click the link, get the discount.
That's right.
And we'll be in touch.
Cool. Thank you very much, man. I'm excited.
Hey,
I'm
thanks,
excited.
guys.
I know Daniel's going to be. You probably haven't met Daniel, but the viewers have. And now Daniel's going to be jealous because he's driving in the other truck. So we might have to order one for our other truck for sure.
Let's get one on.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Thanks again, man.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Thanks,
You're
Josh.
a Cowboys fan or a Packers fan, though?
No, I'm a Bears fan.
that's
What are
right,
you
that's
talking
right,
about?
yeah, that's right,
He's
that's
the
right.
Packers fan.
We got the Packers versus goodness, I'm
Here we
usually
go.
talking to Cowboy
My
people all the
Bears,
time.
if my Bears beat the Packers
Okay.
on Sunday, okay, I'll feel so bad. I'll give this one to you for free.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What's going to happen? Like, I'll give you the card now.
Right?
Anyways, cool.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thanks again, man.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one.
coming out one more time.
Thanks,
All right. We'll
Josh.
see ya. We out.